Sometimes walking away isn't a weakness, it's the most powerful move you'll ever make. Here's a fact that might sting a little. Some of the most dangerous people in your life share your last name. Research has shown that toxic family dynamics cause more long-term stress and mental exhaustion than even the worst jobs or relationships. And if there's one thing a Sigma male refuses to tolerate, it's being drained by people he didn't even choose to be around in the first place. While most people bend over backward to keep family ties intact, no matter how dysfunctional, Sigma males see no honor in suffering just to maintain a broken connection. They walk away not because they're heartless, but because they value their peace more than forced loyalty. And let's be real, when you're the only one in the family with a brain that operates on logic instead of guilt, sometimes leaving is the only option that makes sense. So why do Sigma males walk away from family so easily? Sit tight, because once you hear these reasons, you might just start questioning a few family relationships of your own. Number 1, family uses love as a control tactic. Family love is supposed to be unconditional, but for a Sigma male, it often comes with fine print. We love you as long as you do what we expect. We support you as long as you don't challenge our beliefs. We're here for you as long as you play the role we assigned you. That's not love, that's a contract. And Sigma males don't sign contracts they never agreed to in the first place. Control disguised as love is one of the most manipulative traps a family can set. It's not always loud or obvious. It's in the guilt-tripping, the subtle shaming, the way they make independence feel like betrayal. Parents who can't let go of authority, siblings who resent personal growth, relatives who see boundaries as insults. These are the people who expect a Sigma male to stay in line simply because we're family. But Sigma males weren't built for obedience. The second they realize love is being used as a leash, they cut the rope and walk away without looking back. It doesn't help that families know exactly how to press the guilt button. After everything we've done for you, they say. But doing something for someone with the expectation of control isn't generosity, it's a transaction. Sigma males don't owe their lives to a debt they never asked for. If love comes with conditions, they'd rather have nothing at all. The hardest part is that society glorifies family bonds, no matter how toxic they are. Blood is thicker than water is repeated so often that people forget the full version actually means chosen bonds are stronger than forced ones. But a Sigma male doesn't need an outdated quote to justify walking away. They see the patterns for what they are: control disguised as care, manipulation masked as love, and expectations they never agreed to meet. So they leave, not with anger, not with regret, but with quiet certainty. They refuse to be controlled by people who confuse love with ownership. And when they walk away, there's no dramatic exit, no endless explanations, just distance, silence, and the peace that comes from knowing they made the right choice. Because for a Sigma male, real love doesn't chain you down. It lets you walk free. Number 2, they don't respect titles, only character. Most people are trained from birth to respect family titles like they're sacred. That's your father, you have to respect him. She's still your mother, no matter what. Family is family. But a Sigma male doesn't buy into this blind loyalty. To him, respect is something you earn, not something you're entitled to just because you share DNA. If someone's character is weak, manipulative, or toxic, it doesn't matter if they're a parent, sibling, or distant relative, they don't get a permanent seat in his life. This is where people start calling Sigma males cold or ungrateful. But let's be real. Why should someone be forced to tolerate disrespect just because of a title? If a so-called father is nothing more than a controlling tyrant, why should he be honored? If a mother is an emotional manipulator, why should she be cherished? If a sibling is nothing but a jealous, backstabbing parasite, why should they be considered family? Sigma males don't pretend toxic people are good just because society says, but that's your blood. If anything, they find it even worse when bad character comes from someone who was supposed to be trustworthy. This mindset makes Sigma males hard to manipulate. Most people stay in unhealthy family dynamics because of obligation. Sigma males stay only if there's mutual respect. If a relative thinks they can treat a Sigma male poorly just because family forgives everything, they're in for a rude awakening. Sigma males don't do unlimited forgiveness. They don't do forced reconciliation. And they sure as hell don't keep people around just because it's what good sons/brothers/nephews do. When a Sigma male walks away, it's not an emotional meltdown. He's not slamming doors or writing dramatic farewell letters. He just stops engaging. And that silence speaks louder than words. He doesn't feel guilty, he doesn't feel conflicted, and he doesn't second-guess himself. Because at the end of the day, he'd rather have no family at all than be surrounded by people who use their titles as an excuse to treat him like garbage. Number 3, they refuse to play the family role assigned to them. Families love to put people in boxes, the responsible one, the troublemaker, the golden child, the scapegoat. It's like an unwritten script everyone is expected to follow. And once a role is assigned, breaking out of it is damn near impossible. But Sigma males don't do roles. They refuse to be cast in a part they never auditioned for. If a family insists on seeing them as something they're not, they won't argue, they won't negotiate, they'll just walk away and leave the entire play behind. This rejection of family roles makes Sigma males the wild card in any household. They don't behave the way they're supposed to, and that makes them a problem. If they were labeled the responsible one, they won't spend their lives cleaning up after everyone else. If they were the scapegoat, they won't stick around to be blamed for every issue that arises. If they were expected to be the golden child, they won't live a life of performance just to keep up appearances. Whatever the label, Sigma males crush it underfoot and move on. The real issue is that most families don't know how to handle someone who refuses to play along. They take it as rebellion, selfishness, or even betrayal. But for Sigma males, it's simple. They will not be defined by other people's expectations. If their family can't accept them as they are, without a label, without a box, without a script, they'll step out of the picture entirely. And once they go, they don't come back for encores. Because a Sigma male was never meant to be a character in someone else's story. He writes his own. Number 4, they are not emotional dumpsters. Every family has its own baggage, unresolved trauma, toxic cycles, and emotional wounds that get passed down like some twisted family heirloom. And in many cases, there's always one person expected to absorb it all, to be the emotional sponge that soaks up everyone's drama without complaint. But Sigma males don't play that game. They refuse to be the family's emotional dumpster, the one who listens, fixes, and carries weight that was never theirs to bear. If their family can't clean up its own mess, they won't stand around waiting to be buried under it. The problem is most families don't see this as unfair. They see it as just how things are. Got a parent who never healed from their own childhood, dumped that emotional pain on the kid, got siblings who can't handle their own bad decisions, call the responsible one to bail them out. Got a family full of people who refuse to communicate like adults. Let one person be the therapist. But Sigma males do not volunteer to be the unpaid emotional janitor. They're not here to clean up after grown adults who refuse to take responsibility for their own lives. This is why Sigma males often find themselves alienated in their own families. They don't entertain endless venting sessions. They don't engage in drama, and they don't give sympathy just because it's expected. If a relative only calls when they need to unload their problems, they'll quickly find that a Sigma male has checked out. Not because he doesn't care, but because he refuses to be drained by people who never do the work to fix themselves. So when a Sigma male walks away, it's not because he's heartless, it's because he knows his own worth. He knows he wasn't born to be a dumping ground for unresolved issues and generational dysfunction. If a family can't deal with their problems like adults, he won't stick around to absorb the emotional fallout. He'll walk away, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. Because at the end of the day, a Sigma male would rather stand alone in peace than stay and drown in someone else's chaos. Number 5, they see the fake unity for what it is. Family unity looks great on the surface. Smiling holiday photos, polite small talk, and the illusion that everyone gets along. But Sigma males see past the act. They notice the tension behind the forced smiles, the resentment lurking beneath the laughter, and the way concern is often just a cover for gossip. They don't buy into the performance because they know the truth. Most families aren't united, they're just really good at pretending to be. A Sigma male can sit at a family gathering and watch the hypocrisy unfold in real time. The relatives who act warm and friendly in person are the same ones who tear each other apart behind closed doors. The ones who preach about family loyalty are the first to betray someone when it benefits them. The ones who pretend to care are only fishing for gossip to spread later. To most people, this is just how family is. To a Sigma male, it's a complete waste of time. If a connection isn't genuine, he wants no part of it. This is why Sigma males don't force themselves into family traditions or social obligations. They don't show up just to keep up appearances, and they don't pretend to like people they don't respect. While others plaster on smiles and tolerate nonsense for the sake of family unity, Sigma males simply remove themselves from the equation. Not with drama, not with anger, just with quiet indifference. Because nothing drains a Sigma more than being surrounded by fake people and being expected to play along. Walking away isn't an emotional decision, it's a logical one. A Sigma male values authenticity over forced connections. If his presence is only required to keep up an illusion, he'd rather not be there at all. And when he disappears, his absence speaks volumes. No explanations, no goodbyes, just an empty seat at the table that serves as a reminder that he was never part of the illusion to begin with. Number 6, they don't owe family their success. The moment a Sigma male starts making something of himself, certain family members suddenly develop selective amnesia. They forget the years they dismissed him, doubted him, or even tried to hold him back. But now that he's successful, now they remember their family. Now they feel entitled to a slice of his success, whether it's money, connections, or just the bragging rights of saying, "That's my relative." Sigma males don't tolerate this kind of entitlement. They know exactly how much solitude, sacrifice, and discipline it took to reach their goals. No one was there during the long nights of grinding, the failures, the setbacks, the silent battles they had to fight alone. So when family members show up after the struggle, acting like they automatically deserve something, Sigma males shut it down without hesitation. They don't reward people who only show up when it's convenient. The worst part? Many families don't even try to hide their leeching. Some demand money outright. Some guilt trip with lines like, "We raised you, you owe us." Others try to manipulate by making the Sigma feel selfish for setting boundaries. But a Sigma male sees through all of it. He knows the difference between genuine support and opportunistic greed. If someone never cared about his journey but suddenly expects to benefit from the destination, they're getting nothing but distance. When a Sigma male walks away, it's not because he's ungrateful, it's because he refuses to let anyone, even family, reap the rewards of a struggle they never contributed to. His success is his own, and no amount of guilt, obligation, or fake affection is enough to make him hand it over. If family wanted to be part of his success, they should have supported him when he had nothing. But since they didn't, he owes them exactly that, nothing. Number 7, they refuse to be gaslit by "but we're family." When all else fails, manipulation, guilt-tripping, fake concern, there's one phrase toxic families love to throw as their last lifeline. But we're family. It's supposed to be the ultimate trump card, the thing that makes someone second-guess walking away, the magical spell that erases years of disrespect, abuse, or neglect. But Sigma males? They don't fall for it. A Sigma male doesn't care about sentimental phrases. He cares about patterns of behavior. If a family member has been toxic for years, why should 4 words suddenly change everything? If they were manipulative, disrespectful, or outright abusive, why does the title family excuse it? Sigma males don't get trapped in emotional illusions. They judge people based on actions, not words. And if those actions have been harmful, the relationship is over. Period. This phrase is really just an attempt to gaslight someone into staying in a toxic dynamic. It's a way to make them question their own reality, to make them feel guilty for choosing themselves. But a Sigma male doesn't play mental chess with manipulators. He doesn't engage, doesn't argue, doesn't explain, he just walks away. Because he knows that love, real love, doesn't need to be weaponized to control someone. The funny thing is, the people who scream, "But we're family," the loudest are usually the ones who never acted like family to begin with. They only care about keeping the Sigma male in their orbit because they benefited from his presence. Maybe they relied on him emotionally, maybe they needed someone to blame, maybe they just hate seeing him free. Either way, Sigma males recognize this desperation for what it is, a last-ditch effort to keep control. And nothing repels a Sigma faster than control. So when a Sigma male walks away, he does it without hesitation, without guilt, and without looking back. Because to him, family isn't defined by blood, it's defined by character. And if that character is toxic, then family means absolutely nothing. Number 8, they know loyalty is earned, not given by blood. Most people are taught that family loyalty is non-negotiable. That no matter what happens, no matter how badly someone treats you, you owe them your devotion just because you share DNA. But Sigma males don't buy into this fantasy. To them, loyalty isn't some automatic privilege granted by birth. It's something that's earned through trust, respect, and consistent actions. And if someone, even a family member, proves to be disloyal or disrespectful, they're out. No drama, no second chances, no sentimental excuses. This mindset makes Sigma males seem cold or ruthless to those who don't understand them. But let's be brutally honest. Why should someone be loyal to a person who has done nothing to deserve it? If a so-called brother is nothing but a jealous backstabber, why should he be trusted? If a parent is emotionally abusive, why should they be honored? If a cousin only shows up when they need something, why should they be entertained? Sigma males don't do blind loyalty. They're not emotionally attached to titles, only character. The irony is that the people who demand family loyalty the most are often the least loyal themselves. They expect unconditional devotion while they lie, betray, and manipulate. They want Sigma males to be reliable while they remain unpredictable. They act as if blood is an eternal contract, but Sigma males, they know better. A bond that is built on obligation instead of respect is a prison, not a relationship. So when a Sigma male walks away, it's not because he's selfish or bitter. It's because he refuses to stay where loyalty only flows in one direction. He will not tolerate people who expect everything but give nothing. And most importantly, he will never let guilt, tradition, or expectations keep him in a situation where he is not valued, respected, and treated right. Because for a Sigma, true family isn't about blood. It's about loyalty that is real, tested, and proven. Number 9, they don't waste time on the unteachable. Sigma males thrive on growth, knowledge, and deep conversations, not small talk, outdated mindsets, or the same recycled family drama that's been going on for decades. They can tolerate differences in opinion, but what they can't stand is willful ignorance. The kind of people who refuse to learn, refuse to change, and refuse to even consider a new perspective. When they realize their family is full of these kinds of people, they don't argue, they don't try to change them, they just walk away. The problem isn't that Sigma males think they're better than their family. It's that they know staying around people who refuse to grow is suffocating. They crave conversations that challenge their minds, not the same old tired gossip about who did what at the last family gathering. They want to exchange ideas, not egos. They want solutions, not endless complaints. But when they look around and see a family stuck in their ways, unwilling to learn, trapped in outdated traditions and destructive habits, they know it's time to leave. Nothing frustrates a Sigma more than people who complain about their lives, but never do anything to change them. The uncle who blames the world for his problems but never takes accountability. The sibling who keeps making the same mistakes but refuses advice. The parent who expects respect but never earned it. These kinds of people drain a Sigma's energy. And the worst part, if a Sigma male even tries to introduce a new way of thinking, he's either dismissed, laughed at, or met with hostility. Because unteachable people don't want solutions. They just want someone to listen while they stay the same. So a Sigma male won't argue. He won't beg his family to evolve. He won't waste his breath explaining why their outdated views, toxic cycles, or lazy mindsets are holding them back. Instead, he'll remove himself completely. Because a Sigma male knows one harsh truth: you can't help people who don't want to be helped. And he refuses to let his time, energy, and intelligence be buried by people who have already decided they will never change. Number 10, they reject the sacrificial son mentality. Families love to assign roles, and for a strong, capable man, there's one role they push the hardest: the sacrificial son, the one who's expected to carry the family's burdens, solve everyone's problems, and put his own life on hold for the greater good. But Sigma males, they don't play that game. A Sigma male isn't blind to the unspoken expectations placed on him. He sees how his family subtly, or not so subtly, expects him to always be the fixer, the provider, the one who sacrifices while everyone else takes. He notices how they guilt trip him when he chooses his own path, how they frame independence as selfishness, and how they expect him to prioritize the family's comfort over his own freedom. But here's the problem: Sigma males are not martyrs. They don't believe suffering is noble, and they definitely don't believe in pouring themselves out for people who only take. The biggest red flag: most families that demand this level of sacrifice never give back. They expect a Sigma male to be their safety net, their backup plan, their solution to everything, yet when he needs support, silence, excuses, a sudden case of amnesia. The truth is, they don't see him as a person with his own dreams and needs. They see him as a resource. And the moment a Sigma realizes this, he walks away without looking back. Sigma males believe in fair exchanges, not one-sided sacrifice. They have zero interest in being the family's lifelong ATM, emotional crutch or problem solver, while everyone else comfortably leans on them. If a family only sees his strength as something to exploit, he makes one thing very clear: he owes them nothing. And when he leaves, he doesn't announce it, he doesn't argue, he simply vanishes, leaving behind a family scrambling to figure out what happened. But by the time they realize what they lost, he's already built a life where no one drains him dry, and he's never coming back. Number 11, they won't be used as a financial crutch. The moment a Sigma male reaches financial independence, something strange happens. Relatives start appearing out of nowhere. The same family members who barely acknowledged him suddenly remember their family. Calls and messages increase, but not out of genuine interest in his well-being. No, the conversations always circle back to money. Some are bold enough to ask directly. Others take the guilt trip route. You know, we struggled to raise you, right? And the most manipulative ones don't even ask. They just expect. But here's where they miscalculate. Sigma males are nobody's financial crutch. They worked hard for their success, often without family support. They remember the days they struggled alone, the sacrifices they made, the nights they doubted themselves. Now that they've built something for themselves, they have zero patience for entitled hands reaching into their pockets. It's not about being selfish. Sigma males are actually generous to people who deserve it. But what they refuse to do is fund irresponsibility, laziness, or manipulation. They're not blind to the patterns. They see the relatives who always have an emergency but never a plan. The ones who refuse to improve their situation yet always expect a bailout. The ones who suddenly treat them like royalty, but only when they need something. Sigma males see through it all, and they don't fall for it. When they realize their family values their money more than their presence, they don't argue. They don't explain themselves. They simply cut the cord. No emotional speeches, no warnings, just complete financial disengagement. And once that happens, something even more revealing occurs. The relatives who claim to love them disappear too. Because it was never about love, it was about access to resources. Sigma males refuse to be reduced to a walking bank account. They'd rather walk away and build a life where their success is theirs alone, without the weight of entitled family members draining them dry. Number 12. They know family can be their biggest enemy. Family is supposed to be a safe space, but Sigma males learn early on that sometimes your biggest enemies share your last name. The same people who should be cheering them on are often the ones secretly rooting for their failure, belittling their ambitions, or even outright sabotaging them. And unlike most people who hold on to toxic family bonds out of obligation, Sigma males don't hesitate to walk away. They see the subtle digs disguised as jokes, the backhanded compliments, the dismissive "that's not realistic" every time they share a goal. They notice how certain family members only show up when they're struggling, because as long as a Sigma male isn't outgrowing them, they feel secure. But the moment he starts leveling up, making moves and proving them wrong, the energy shifts. Suddenly there's tension, resentment, passive-aggressive comments, and that's when Sigma males know it's time to cut ties. The harsh truth is, some family members don't want to see you win because your success reminds them of their own stagnation. It forces them to confront the fact that they had the same opportunities but never took them. So rather than being inspired, they become bitter. They'll downplay achievements, plant seeds of doubt, or even work against a Sigma male behind the scenes. It could be as simple as discouraging a career move or as toxic as outright sabotage. Either way, Sigma males recognize this for what it is: envy disguised as concern. And here's what sets them apart. Sigma males don't wait around hoping toxic family members will change. They don't engage in arguments, they don't seek validation, and they definitely don't explain themselves. They just leave. Because they know that family isn't defined by blood, it's defined by who actually supports you. And if the people closest to them would rather see them fail than succeed, they have no place in a Sigma's life. Family is just a word. Loyalty is what gives it meaning. Sigma males understand this better than anyone, which is why they have no problem walking away when family becomes toxic, entitled, or suffocating. They refuse to be weighed down by outdated traditions, manipulative guilt trips, or the illusion that blood automatically equals loyalty. If someone, even a relative, proves they don't deserve a place in their life, Sigma males don't beg, they don't explain, and they definitely don't stick around hoping things will change. They leave. And here's the part most people don't understand. They don't leave with anger or resentment. They walk away with clarity, peace, and an unshakable sense of self-worth. They don't burn bridges out of spite, but they also don't hesitate to let them collapse if the foundation was built on lies, disrespect, or manipulation. They know that true freedom isn't just about escaping society's expectations. It's about removing themselves from any environment that stunts their growth, including family. At the end of the day, Sigma males aren't heartless. They just refuse to be controlled. They choose their own path, surround themselves with people who genuinely support them, and create a life that aligns with their values. They understand one brutal truth: sometimes walking away isn't betrayal, it's survival. And if that means leaving behind the people who should have supported them but didn't, then so be it. Because Sigma males never stay where they aren't valued, even if that place is their own family. Like this video, drop a comment below, and share it with someone who needs to hear this truth. And if you're built different, if you think, move, and operate like a true Sigma, subscribe to the channel because we're just getting started. Turn on that notification bell so you never miss out on content that speaks to who you really are.